Thank you so much for sticking around with us. I'm meteorologist Kit Thomas. Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett has the night off, and we'll be joined a little bit later with meteorologist Daniel McDonald. But overall, a beautiful day today. We really didn't have much in the way of cloud cover, just a few clouds around the midday time frame as a cold front was rolling through. That's knocked down our dew points. That's also going to make for some very pleasant weather tomorrow, though those dew points are going to start to get back up there as we head into the next few days. So overall, very quiet weather for us. Not a whole lot to chat about, but we're still going to talk about that here over the next several minutes this evening. We're looking out over downtown Memphis this evening right now. Lots and lots of clear sunshine coming in. We'll still see the potential for some swings of temperatures the next few days. Like I said, we've got cooler temperatures coming in tomorrow, and that's going to bring those temperatures down just a little bit as we get into the next couple of days. But overall, not a bad forecast on the way for us. As we take a look here in East Memphis, beautiful blue sky out there this evening. Whenever we talk about sunsets, we need to have some amount of clouds in there to scatter the sun, scatter the light there after sunset. Doesn't look like we're going to have the most fabulous sunset tonight, but still good golden hour on the way as we've got a lot of that clear sky around the western sky right now to help scatter some of that light. 81, the current temperature, so it's still pretty warm. So if you're headed home now, or if you're just getting home after work, you want to take the dog out for a walk, it is on the warmer side, so keep that in mind. But overall, very dry weather as well, because we've got dew points currently in the 40s across much of the area. You get a little farther south, that's where we've got dew points in the 50s, and I think the front has pretty much stalled out. It's not going to move much farther south than where it is. Maybe into tomorrow, it pushes just a little more south into middle Mississippi, but it's not going to get all the way to the coast. If it were to make it to the coast, that would set us up for a few days of some nice, mild weather, dry humidity. But it looks like that's going to start to tick back up here over the next couple of days. As we look at the trend as we get into the weekend, we've got a lot more humidity coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. So that's going to impact our heat index as well. It's not going to be a major heat index. It's just going to make it feel just a little bit more humid, a little more hot as we get through the weekend. So it's not going to be dangerous heat, but it's still something that we've got to keep in mind, especially since this is our first real heat wave, in a sense, a mini heat wave. We're just flirting with that 90-degree temperature. Here's a look at the dew points, though. Again, tomorrow, dew points are going to be very low. In the low 40s, it's still going to be very, very pleasant, beautiful weather on the way. By Friday, though, we'll start to notice that humidity starting to tick back up. It's looking like we've got dew points getting into the mid to upper 50s there on Friday. By Saturday, we start to see mid-60s showing up a little bit, and then Sunday, Monday, that's when it starts to get quite a bit more humid. You'll definitely notice the thickness in the air with that extra moisture coming in. And of course, that's going to also maybe mix in with some of that heat to produce some clouds, maybe some showers, even some thunderstorms are possible by early next week. But anytime we're talking about the dew points or the heat index, that's basically where our body evaporates to cool down, evaporates the sweat to cool down. But if there's too much moisture in the air, it actually is less efficient. So we wind up retaining a lot more heat. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, though. Looking at satellite and radar around the area, we've got a cold front that's pushed through, and you can kind of tell from some of the clouds that have moved in just to our south, a few of those clouds across northern Mississippi into southern Arkansas and out across the Appalachians. There are a few scattered showers, maybe some thunder showers out that direction, but overall, we are staying very clear here in the Memphis area. If we follow that front up into Pennsylvania, we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings up there and into Maryland as well. They have a chance for some severe storms today. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with that here in the Memphis area. Our next system is here across Nebraska right now. That high is sliding down the central plains, and you see that clockwise flow around the high. That's what's bringing in that north wind, sort of coupled with the backside of the low, the counterclockwise flow. That's leading to that cool, dry air flowing into the mid-south this evening, bringing us that nice and pleasant weather. So we'll see that north wind continue overnight tonight into tomorrow, but we'll start to see the high moving sort of to our north, and that'll help to switch the winds to more out of the east, then eventually out of the south. And then it's going to start to bring in more warm and moist air as we head into the Friday time frame. We start off here with a south easterly wind through Friday morning. That shifts to more due south, and that's going to start to bring in the moisture and bring up those dew points back to the 50s and 60s through the weekend. We'll also see a few more clouds on Friday evening, so maybe a better sunset then. And as we get into Saturday, we might have a chance for a stray shower or two. It's very low chances, only about 20% as we head Saturday into Sunday, but it's still possible we might have a wet cloud here or there. As we look at the long-range models, this is where we start to see a little more activity to our north here as we get into the Saturday time frame. 3 o'clock, maybe some thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley area. But as we get to Sunday, that southerly flow is going to start to bring in more moisture across the southern plains. It may make it to us here Sunday evening, maybe a chance for a stray shower then in the evening time frame. But my eyes are drawn more to Monday and Tuesday, especially as we see a little more upper level support, maybe some of those yellows popping in there. Those might be some thunderstorms, some convection showing up on these long range models. The thing is, with the long range models, they're very low resolution, so they don't really resolve individual thunderstorms. The short range high res models can resolve an individual thunderstorm. This is just indicating there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and that's usually an indication of some amount of heavy precipitation, maybe some thunderstorms, and we see that on Wednesday evening as well. Looking at another model, this one actually doesn't have quite as much moisture with it, but it does show that front sort of coming through the central plains a little more intensely here as we get into Monday evening, and that may bring us some heavier rainfall then, and then it sort of lingers as we head into the Wednesday time frame as well. So a couple of different models showing slightly different solutions, but most of this weekend looks dry on both of them. We'll wait until that rain comes in next week as well. As we take a look at the storm energy, there's not a ton to work with. We look at storm energy, that includes the heat, the humidity, and the upper level shear of the storms. And it doesn't look like it's going to be a very, very high end event for us. We're just going to have enough energy to get the storms going, but not to sustain them to a severe level. So over the next couple of days, we are in the clear for severe weather threats here across the Mid-South. There's a little bit more of a threat across the Central Plains though. As we get into the Sunday time frame, actually, I want to back this up because there is another one on Saturday there across the Central Plains. They've got a chance for severe storms. Then it shifts a little more to the north and west on Sunday. And then by Monday, a pretty widespread threat from the upper Midwest into the Central Plains. And that's what we're kind of keeping our close eyes on, because that system, once it dislodges from the Central Plains, it'll maybe move our direction. That might be what we look at midweek next week, moving into our area. It looks like some of the ingredients start to fall apart, disassociate from one another, so it's not going to be quite as strong or significant here in the Mid-South, but it will still bring us some chance for some thunderstorms. So right now we're in the 80s. Overnight tonight we'll be dropping back into the 50s around the area. We'll likely see those lows overnight dropping down into the low to mid 50s. Again, it's very dry, so that allows our temperatures to swing quite a bit. Tomorrow afternoon, much cooler, maybe even only in the 70s for our highs. I might even adjust that for the evening shows, pull it back down to 79 degrees. But total rainfall, we'll have to wait until early next week to see how much rain we'll get. This is only about half of the potential for rain, but we could see anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches around the area. Your 7-day forecast, we've got those temperatures on the swing up as we head towards the later part of the week. Tomorrow is the coolest day. Then we'll start to see mid to upper 80s coming back in for the weekend. And again, that humidity is going to play a little more of a factor for us as well. If we get close to that 90-degree mark, it may feel just a little bit warmer than that, and talking about the heat index there. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more coming up later on in the show as well, and hear from our friends over at Climate Central. But for now, headed to break, we'll take a look at downtown Memphis, looking a little bit hazy as the sun's getting low this evening.